Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 13 and we would like to explain about material is second language learning or SLL and bilingualism. And I am Muhammadullah as the first speaker, and I will explain about the first material is second language learning. Second language learning is concerned with the process and study of how people acquire a second language, which is often referred to as L2 or target as opposed to referred to as L2 or target as opposed to L1, the native language. The main point of second language learning is the first language that someone learns other than a mother tongue language. This means that generally the term second language in this context can refer to any language, also a third or fourth language learned in addition to the native language. And the second is usually second language was studied by someone who not a native speaker. For example, Indonesians learn English language which is not the original language. And the third is learning means to learn consciously in a starts environment. This means that we have to convince ourselves to learn consciously from a particular environment. And then second language learning means to learn by speaking, writing, and reading. In all three can we learn the school environment or outside of school. Well, I think that's all for.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mimi Binti Ahmad. Here I'm as the second speaker. For the first, I'm going to explain about the principle of for second language pronunciation, and the second is what is bilingualism, and the third is the type of bilingualism. Okay, for the first is I'm going to explain about for second language pronunciation, there are two principles by Levis in 2002. The first is nativeness, which means the speaker's ability to approximately reach the speaking pattern of the second language of speaker. The second is understanding, refers to the speaker's ability to make themselves understood. Jadi prinsip dari penyebutan untuk bahasa kedua terdapat dua, yaitu yang pertama adalah nativeness, yang berarti kemampuan penutur untuk mencapai pola berbicara dari bahasa kedua atau penutur bahasa kedua. Yang kedua adalah understanding atau pemahaman, merujuk kepada kemampuan penutur untuk membuat diri mereka memahami bahasa kedua yang mereka gunakan. Example of second language learning. For example, Canada people use English. English here is a second language for Canada people. And the second is English native speakers in Canada, French or using French language. And here French is a second language. Jadi untuk contohnya adalah masyarakat Kanada menggunakan bahasa Inggris. Bahasa Inggris di sini adalah bahasa kedua untuk mereka. Yang kedua adalah English native speaker atau native speaker English yang menggunakan bahasa Prancis di Kanada. Jadi bahasa Prancis ini adalah bahasa kedua bagi native speaker. And for the next slide is I'm going to explain about bilingualism. Okay, for the first is bilingualism. Bilingualism is a person or people speak or communicate using two languages fluently and effective. While the multilingualism is a person or individual speak in more than two language in his environment. Jadi bilingualism ini adalah seseorang yang menggunakan berkomunikasi menggunakan dua bahasa secara pasif, atau biasa juga disebut dengan multilingualism, yang berarti seseorang yang menggunakan lebih dari dua bahasa di suatu daerah. For example, Canada use French and English language. And the second example is Nigeria. In Nigeria, use official and regional language. Jadi contohnya di sini adalah masyarakat Kanada menggunakan bahasa Prancis dan juga bahasa Inggris. Dan di Nigeria menggunakan bahasa resmi dan juga bahasa regional. For the next slide, I'm going to explain about the types of bilingualism. Okay, for the first type is coordinate bilingualism. This type is also known in some quarter subtractive bilingualism. In this type, the individual learn the language separately in separate environment and maintain this separation after mastering both. For example, a student who speaks one language at home acquire via his parents at the home environment, and then learn the second language at their school. He only speak the second language at school in a classroom environment, and the language remains separate in his mind. Jadi untuk jenis yang pertama ini adalah bilingualism koordinat, yang berarti biasa juga dikenal dengan bilingualism subtraktif. Dalam jenis ini, individu mempelajari bahasa secara terpisah di lingkungan yang terpisah. Dan untuk contohnya adalah seseorang yang berbicara satu bahasa di rumah mereka, memperoleh bahasa dari orang tuanya dan juga lingkungan rumah. Dan kemudian mereka mempelajari bahasa kedua di sekolah mereka. Mereka hanya menggunakan bahasa kedua di sekolah di dalam lingkungan kelas, dan bahasa itu hanya di dalam otak mereka. For the second types is compound bilingualism. In compound bilingualism, there's no such defining line. The individual learn the language in the same environment and context, and they are often used concurrently or even interchangeably, sometimes known as addictive bilingualism. An example of this would be when a child is raised by bilingual parents and both languages are used in the home. In the individual minds, the languages are not separate and can be switched between at will even while speaking. Jadi untuk jenis yang kedua ini adalah bilingualism compound atau gabungan. Dalam jenis ini, individu mempelajari bahasa di lingkungan dan konteks yang sama. Mereka juga sering menggunakannya secara bergantian. Jenis ini juga biasa dikenal sebagai bilingualism adiktif. Contohnya adalah ketika seorang anak yang dibesarkan di dalam orang tua yang bisa menggunakan dua bahasa, otomatis individu di dalam pikiran individu itu juga menguasai kedua bahasa tersebut. Jadi bahasa ini tidak terpisah dan juga mereka tahu kapan akan menggunakan bahasa yang satunya dan juga kapan akan menggunakan bahasa yang satu, walaupun mereka sedang dalam keadaan berbicara dengan seseorang. Okay, I think this is all of my explanation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nurmadina Ahmad. I'm from group 13. Here I'm going to explain about benefit of bilingualism and negative effect bilingualism. Benefit of bilingualism. Psychological studies have found that speaking two or more languages is beneficial for people's cognitive process, and the difference between brains of bilingual and single language speaker usually provides some mental benefits. According to an article in the Daily Telegraph in 2013, the benefits include but are not limited to this. Number 1, becoming smarter. Speaking a second language keeps the function on the brain intact by thinking and using the different language system. Number 2, building multitasking skill. According to a study from the Pennsylvania State University, juggling language can make better brain because multilingual people are usually at switching between different language systems. They can be good multitasker as well. Number 3, improving memory. The vocabulary capacity for a high school graduate student in about 45,000 words, according to Nagy and Anderson, 1984, and being a bilingual has shown to double this number because learning a language adds to a person's vocabulary. Number 3, improve cognitive abilities. A study focusing on divergent thinking determined that second language learning scores significantly higher than monolingual students when presented with figural tasks. Second language learning appears, therefore, not only to provide children with the ability to depart from the traditional approaches to a problem, but also to supply them with possible rich research for the new different ideas. Next, negative effect of bilingualism include the following. Number 1, it erodes the culture of the people. A bilingual will also be cultural. Number 2, interference and transference. Interference can occur at lexical or borrowing, semantic, phonological levels. And the last, linguistic incompetence. It makes people subordinate and insipid bilingual. I think that's all for me. Thank you.